When the ghost is in the wire, we defend or go home.
Ghost in the wire. Defender, go home. Ghost in the wire. Defender, go home.
Well, hello and welcome back to Digital Defenders, the podcast that helps you level up your tech game. I'm your host, Mr. Nolan, aka the Intel Guy. And today I have a question for you. What do you do when you discover a network connection that you don't recognize? As defenders, we don't ignore it, and we don't automatically assume that it's malicious either. What we do, we investigate it. Yeah, this morning I was looking at my app privacy report on my iPhone and I noticed several network connections that I did not recognize. Now, I wasn't alarmed by what I saw, but I was curious and wanted to investigate it. And if you're going to work in cybersecurity, curiosity and research have to become your best friends. The question that I needed to answer this morning was really simple. Who in the world is my iPhone trying to communicate with at this IP address? Listen, whenever I begin an investigation, I'm always thinking, where is the first place I need to go for answers? And in this situation, a public records check made sense. Now, before I start scanning anything or interacting with another system, I want to see what information is already available publicly. And that's where WHOIS comes into play. WHOIS is a public database that provides registration information about IP address ranges and domain names. And because I'm gathering this information from public records instead of probing the remote system with something like lookup or dig, this is an example then of what we call passive reconnaissance. Passive reconnaissance gives us a way to begin an investigation without directly interacting with the system that we're looking into. So on my iPhone, I launched a Linux terminal. Yeah, you can do that. And I used the WHOIS command to investigate the IP address in question. And here's what came back. At first glance, I know the output looks a little overwhelming. There are several different fields, several names, and a lot of information on the screen that can make you scratch your head. But I don't need to understand every single line that's here. I need to stay focused on the question that I'm trying to answer. And it's, who's responsible for this IP address that keeps popping up on my phone? Listen, the first thing that catches my attention is the network name. Notice the name is Facebook. Now that's a household name. That's one that we all recognize. So at this point, this doesn't look like some random unknown network. It actually looks like it could be a legitimate connection. But as a defender, I don't stop here. I'm going to continue going on till I gather enough information or evidence so that I can have some confirmation. So I notice an IP address range that's assigned to the network and that there's a registration associated with the country of Ireland. Those details help me build some context, but I still want more confirmation. So I keep on reading. And a little further down, I find some organization information. And there it is. Look, Facebook Inc. Now I have confirmation. Listen, the network name gave me a clue to begin with, but the organization information confirms who's responsible for the IP address. Now notice the tool doesn't do some things and it does some things. It didn't tell me exactly what my phone was doing. It didn't tell me what data was being exchanged. And it did not tell me whether the connection was good or bad. What it did do, however, was answer the first question in my investigation. Who owns this network? Sometimes that's exactly where an investigation needs to begin. You notice something that seems to be unusual, out of the ordinary, or abnormal. You then start asking questions. You decide where you need to look for the answers to those questions. Then you gather enough evidence to determine your next step. That's the process. That's the methodology. Listen, cybersecurity is not just about memorizing commands. It's about knowing how to investigate. It's about knowing what questions to ask, where to look for information, and how to use that information to find what you're looking for. And that's how defenders think. Listen, I'm Mr. Nolan, your host. Keep learning, keep training, and keep defending. And as we always say, defend or go home.